After a month away from the painting practice, I'm finally back in my sitting room/studio. Taking a break for the summer holidays gave me space to breathe and really disconnect to the routine. But returning now, I notice how much I longed for this moment. Coming back after a time off always stirs this urge in me to rearrange my space. For me, painting isn't just about the canvas or the page, it's also about the atmosphere that surrounds it. The balance between comfort, decoration, practice is very important for me. I think this way the space feels kind of aligned with the work that I want to do. Rearranging can be less about the furniture in itself and more about the psychological act of renewal. A way of aligning the external with how I want to feel internally, I think. Perhaps calm, perhaps inspired and balanced. And perhaps the timing makes this transition even sweeter. With summer fading and autumn slowly approaching, this season to me always brings a quiet inspiration, and it calls me back to painting with a more renewed energy. So for this video, I decided to keep things simple and intimate. This time I chose to return not with a large piece of art, but with my sketchbook. Previously, I spoke about my desire to return to a freer kind of painting, quick sketching sessions that feel like a diary of daily experiences. There's a freedom in the sketchbook, no pressure to finish, no pressure to sell, just the act of observing and learning. So for this session, I am revisiting moments from my summer holidays, landscapes and fragments of places. I often think back to when painting was only a hobby for me. I would sit at my desk with no expectations, just a desire to play. I would experiment with mediums, I would make mistakes and let accidents guide me, and most likely I would have fun. But when painting became my career, a subtle weight settled in. The pressure to produce sellable work, to always be building towards something, began to kind of shape my practice. And while I'm grateful for that path I walk now, I also feel the absence of that carefree experimentation. So the sketchbook is a way of reclaiming that freedom and fun. But here's the thing. At the same time, I often feel guilty when I'm sketching instead of working on pieces meant to sell. I don't know, why do I do this to myself? It really could be simpler than this, right? But apparently being an artist comes with a brain that likes to complicate things. And honestly, that's part of the reality I want to share here as well. This mix of creativity and overthinking. But jokes apart, I'm learning to let go of that pressure, to be less anxious about the choice and simply follow inspiration, whether it leads to a sketchbook or to a finished piece. So today's sketches hold pieces of my summer, moments from a holiday that looked a little different this year. Instead of traveling to Italy as we usually do to visit my parents, we stayed home. We stayed in Ireland. But the real gift was having my parents over and sharing with them the beauty of this place I can call home. Driving through the Irish scenery together, I felt so inspired to paint some of those beautiful landscapes. I wasn't sure what mediums to go for in these sketches. I love how quick and satisfying oil pastels can be, but part of me also wanted to dive into a longer mixed media piece with acrylics, colored pencils. So for these two, I leaned towards simplicity, so the directness of oil pastels. 2 sketches of Lahinch Beach in County Clare, the best part of the country in my opinion. So 2 visuals, one as we are just approaching the beach from the walking path, and the other from the same view, but this time as we return to the car. This next sketch was more of an experiment. I used so many things. I used a mix of watercolors, acrylics, colored pencils, and oil pastels. Really just trying to break out of my usual comfort zone and see what happens when you let the hand play. I cannot say that I loved it. It felt a little strange and not so natural to me, but the subject was so beautiful. A view from a drive through the Burren, right along the west coast of Ireland. Something about the brushwork in this specific case felt very stiff, not as loose as I'd hoped. And the lack of confidence has a way of making itself visible on the page. I was trying something unfamiliar, and part of me still held on to the pressure of making it good. But that's the total purpose of keeping a sketchbook, to make mistakes, to stumble a little until you feel comfortable and learn in what way to move. So that's where I am right now, back in the rhythm after a summer pause, trying to give myself permission to sketch more freely without the weight of expectations. And I'm realizing how important it is to allow space for both the finished artworks that carry weight and purpose, and these smaller, freer moments that keep the joy alive. Painting does not have always to be about the final piece or the idea of selling, but it can also be about joy and about practice. And if along the way I get anxious or overcomplicate things, well, I guess that's the beauty and the curse of it, the brain that keeps insisting on making painting harder than it needs to be. It's all painting, it's all learning, and it's all part of the story.